Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to talk about stress. What what is stress? How we can deal with stress and what we need to remember if we want to have a healthy and stressless or life with less stress. And the best for me is to learn how you can manage stress and live the life that you really enjoy. My name is Gergana Radovich. I'm a holistic health coach, sleep expert, EFT trainer, and master T-Tapp trainer. And I help busy and of stressed women to become more relaxed, to learn how to live fully with intention and to create the best life they can. And stress is a huge topic. And today I'm going to share only a bit from it, and I hope it will be useful to you, and I hope it will help you create better life for yourself. And again, stress happens all around us, and it happens every day. And for me, the most important thing is to learn not to avoid stressful events, but to learn how to better cope with them and manage stress. So I'm very happy that you're here with me today. I would like to hear your comments, your remarks, or your questions. So let me know when you have a question or you need an answer. And why I came with this topic today, or actually, I was rather thinking about it for a couple of days, and finally, I decided that this would be the topic for today. And as I said, stress is really a huge topic, and I've spent 15 years in aviation teaching pilots how to cope with stress, not only pilots, but other aviation personnel. But what I learned from my experience is, and what I tried to teach my students at that time, was that it's one thing to hear what stress is, to hear how to cope with stress, how to manage stress, and it's entirely different thing to actually do that. But as a teacher, as a practitioner, as a coach, I know that you can't learn really well if you don't know what's behind the mechanism, what's what are the drives, the connections, the basic principles that guide every behavior. At least that was for me and for people who came to me. So I would like to say a few things about the stress mechanism, how our body responds to stress factors, and then I'm going to show you how you can decrease stress levels with simple tools as EFT, emotional freedom techniques, or simply cold tapping. So stay with me to the end of this video so you can see a short but very powerful tapping practice. And you can use this practice every single day, even twice or three times per day. And let's start from the beginning. What is stress? Stress is the complex reaction of our body, mind, and my body, mind, and emotional apparatus, if I may say that, to factors that may come from outside or from inside, or we call these factors stressors, and those stressors can be from the surroundings, as say virus or very low or very high temperatures, or meeting with colleagues or with clients or whatever comes from outside. And then the stressors can be internal, or we are talking about external factors, external stressors, and internal stressors. And again, internal stressors can be not feeling well, or having a too high body temperature or too low body temperature, lack of sleep, negative emotions, feeling of hunger, feeling of pain, or something else related that comes from inside the body or from our mind. And the mind doesn't really differentiate between an a real danger and an imagined or imagined danger, or something, or a thought. Let me put it this way, in a simple way. So the mind doesn't really differentiate between the real object, say the threat, the real threat, and thought about a threat. In the mind, everything is happening right now, at right this moment. And it doesn't really matter whether we see a dog, if we are afraid by dogs, or we have dogs, phobia about dogs, from dogs. And if we think about a dog or about a threat, or let's use the example, the mind doesn't really differentiate between experiencing the virus and thinking about maybe experiencing the virus. And in such sense, it's very important to know what happens within your mind, what happens within your body, in order to be more prepared to manage stress and to react to stress. And without going very deep into neurological structures or deep into brain layers, I would like to say a couple of, by my opinion, most important things that you need to know about brain if you'd like to understand better the stress mechanism. And let's put it this way: the brain, human brain, is probably the most complex structure that we have, and it hasn't happened within a day, a year, or even a decade or thousands of years. Due to millions of years of evolution, we now have this complex brain structure. But even though it took millions of years to came to this situation, now our brains have different layers that show the stages of evolution. And that simply said means that we have different layers in the brain which are responsible for different things. Again, it's not very exact medical or autonomical explanation, but for our purpose today, it works pretty well. Why? Because what you need to know is that we can differentiate brain in three main layers. So the very deep and basic layer is includes the structures that we call reptilian brain. Reptilian brain is the oldest part of the brain. It's in the base of the brain, actually, and it's responsible for staying alive. I mean, it's responsible for breathing, for eating, for sleeping, for mating. It's responsible for what we need to do in order to stay alive, physically alive. This part of the brain doesn't really care about your next year goal or about your achievements at work or even at home. The main Its main goal is to keep you alive. Then, on top of that old part, is situated something that we know as a limbic brain. Limbic brain is more recent structure or area or areas or group of brain parts, so to speak, that's responsible for emotions and for relations, and in such way for memories as well. And in such way, the goal of the limbic part, the limbic brain, is to scan the surroundings and see whether there is threat or no. And if it sees a threat or senses a threat, it starts very complex stress reaction. And the most important reason for that is that if we are not anxious enough, so to speak, we might miss dangers hiding around us. And in such sense, it's important to pay attention about what's happening around you in order to be prepared, to be ready to react. And the limbic part of our brains, the limbic brain actually does exactly that. It's scanning. There are different structures. I'm not going to talk about them in depth, but it's scanning the surrounding, and whenever it sees a threat, it says, ring, 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 we need to take action like right now. And that means that within 2-3 seconds from perceiving the threat, actually not perceiving, but sensing the threat, in our body are released different hormones, but most important of them is cortisol. Actually, first it's adrenaline, the fast reacting hormone, and cortisol, the slower reacting hormone. And actually, those two hormones give us the major boost that we need to have in order to either fight or flight or freeze, depending on the situation, depending on our abilities and our capabilities right now at that moment. And again, I need to mention here something important. It's important to remember again that it doesn't really matter whether you see a snake or you think about a snake when you have snake phobia. For the brain, this is all and the same thing. And when you see the snake or you think about the snake and you perceive it as a threat, the adrenaline, the cortisol starts to are released in the body. And what are the other stress symptoms? The brain, actually the blood flow to the central part of the brain is withdrawn and it's sent to the extremities, to the head, to the arms, to the feet, to the legs and to the feet, because you need to take fast action. And solving math problems at that very moment is not necessary. What's necessary is for you to react really fast and run away, even if it's a picture you see or a film you see on the TV. And your body is prepared to run away or to fight. And here comes the third most recent brain structure that makes us humans, and it's our cognitive brain. It's actually the part of the brain that stays behind, above our eyes, in the front part of the head, and behind the forehead, actually. And it's the part of the brain that's more recent. Well, not 2 3 days ago, but still thousands of years. And it makes us humans. It gives us ability to think, ability to solve logical problems, ability to make deduction, ability to really plan about our future, our goals, and so on and so on. And it's important to remember that when you have these three parts of the brain, they don't work without each other, actually, and all of them work at the same time, but depending on the situation or situations, different parts of the brain may take control. For example, if there is a threat around you and your limbic system or amygdala, the part of the brain that we call smoke detector of the brain, actually rings a bell literally and sends signals that it's not safe. And when your body, your subconscious mind receive the signal that it's not safe, your mathematical problem, if you're trying to solve one at the moment, it's not important anymore. And that's why when you are going to say an important meeting, or when you're going on your in exam, or when you need to do your best, you need to be really, I wouldn't say calm as possible, but I would say you need to be really aware of what your stress level is at that moment. Because if you are very anxious, if you are under great stress, if you are afraid or feeling very highly emotional, you are not going to be your best cognitive professional self, so to speak. And that's why it's really important to learn how to manage stress and how to react in most appropriate way, so to speak. And being highly emotional is probably 90% of the time not the best, your best self, not your best shot, so to speak. And again, what's happening when the amygdala, the limbic brain, sends the signals that we are under stress, we are under attack, we need to take action. Within the body, there are many hormones that are released that make us faster, stronger, and that make the primary goal, hormones and other reactions, of course, body reactions, but bodily processes, but they make the primary goal survival and getting out of danger, which means that when we are under stress, we are not healing, we are not thinking clearly, that I said already, but we are not digesting properly, we are not releasing, actually, the stress hormones and sex hormones are really, I wouldn't say it's either one or another. I'd say that when you are under stress, all the rest goes to the back plan. Means that your hormonal balance, including the sex hormones and other hormones, of course, um, is not important anymore. And if you find yourself that you are lacking interest in, say, love play, or with in eating right, or with keeping your diet, or with exercising enough, it means that your stress hormones are on their own right now. And until you take care of those, you can't really live your life to the fullest. Because when you are under threat, digestion is really not important. As I said, my thinking clearly is really not important. And all the hobbies at this moment are not important. Even the relationships with others, building those, is not important at the moment. And of course, your sleep might not be important. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying it might seem like it's not important. And when you are under great stress, or not that great stress, but constant stress, one of the first things to suffer is the quality of your sleep. And when your sleep is under stress, you can't heal. You can't be your best self. You age early. You develop chronic conditions. You may even develop serious illnesses. So that's why it's really, really important to pay attention about stress and what happens in your day in and day out. And one thing that I would like to mention here is that when we are releasing more cortisol that we need to, it's hard for us to keep our diet right. And it's not simply because we don't have time to look at the diet, but it's because the hormones that regulate the feeling of hunger and fullness, leptin and ghrelin, are, and insulin, of course, interrelate with cortisol. And again, if you have high cortisol levels, you feel, most of the cases, you feel that you need to eat more sugary, floury, fried packaged foods, because your brain feels that it needs more energy. And despite the fact that you eat more, you don't really feel full or satisfied, because the hormone who takes care of this is not really released right now. So what I'm saying is that if you want to look better, to sleep better, to feel great, you need to pay attention to your stress levels. And again, I don't believe it's impossible to live without stress. I don't recommend living without stress. I'm just saying that we all need to do daily actions to reduce stress and live the best life we can. And now comes the time for our today's EFT practice, or tapping practice. And why I'd like Tapping is one of the best for me tools, for me and for my clients and people who come to me, but one of the best tools for reducing stress. It has many studies behind its back already that say that state that while we use tapping, we reduce our cortisol levels, we improve different health markers in the body. So let's start with a short practice, EFT tapping practice that you can use daily. Let's start from the side of the head. Think about something that really made you feel stressed or anxious. And let's start from the side of the hand. Even though I feel stressed right now, I choose to laugh and accept myself. And again, even though I feel so stressed right now, I choose to laugh and accept myself. One more time. Even though I'm very stressed at the moment, I choose to laugh and accept myself. Top of the head. I feel really stressed. Eyebrow. It's too much. Side of the eye. I feel really, really stressed at the moment and I don't know what to do. Under the eye. I feel so anxious. Under the nose. It's too much. On the chin. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do. What I need to do. On the chest. It's too much right now. Under the arm. Too much for me to handle. On the base of the thumbnail. It's too much. It happened too quickly. On the base of the nail of the pointer. It's too much. Middle finger. I'm under great stress right now. Ring finger. I'm not sure what to do. Pinky. It's too much. Top of the head. This stress. Eyebrow. Where do you feel the stress? It might be in your chest, in your shoulders, in your head, or somewhere else. This stress in state where you feel the stress. Let's say in my chest. Under the eye. This stress in my chest. Under the nose. It's too much. On the chin. It's too much for me right now. On the chest. I can't handle it. Under the arm. It's too much for me to handle right now. On the temp. It's too heavy. But maybe I can release it. Maybe I can let it go. Maybe I can be free again. Maybe I can let it go. And again, top of the head, I choose to release this tension. Eyebrow, I choose to let it go. Side of the eye, I love to let it go. Under the eye, I can find a way out of this situation. Under the nose, I'm sure I can do that, even though it might not seem like that right now. On the chin, it's too much, but I choose to let it go. Cross your hands over your heart and tap lightly with your fingers. Tap, tap, tap. This is something I learned from Dawson Church. Tap, 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 and say, I release everything that stands between me and inner peace. Uncross your hands, change the top hand, and repeat. I choose to release everything that stands between me and inner peace right now. So inhale, exhale, and pay attention of how you feel. Notice where you feel the stress or lack of it right now. What's the tension in your head, chest, or head? And pay attention to your situation, your awareness right now. And hopefully you feel better already. If you need, go back to this tapping and repeat it a couple of times, and it will help. Why it's important to do this meditation daily or tapping daily? Because when we are, and I believe most of us right now live under chronic stress, with chronic stress. And I believe that our cortisol levels are higher than they should be. And using tapping daily will help you level these levels, optimize those cortical levels, and will help you improve your sleep, help you improve your mood, help you improve your relationships, help you improve your even perception and satisfaction with yourself, your body, your mind, your achievements, and so on. And of course, if you need help with achieving all this, if you'd like a structured way to do that, if you need somebody to walk with you and help you on every step of the way, contact me and I'll be happy to help you. Please go to my website nfc.bg or nfc.com. You can use either of those and send me a message and I'll come I'll come back to you later again. So I'm Gergana Radovich. I was very happy. I'm very happy to be with you today. And thank you for watching this video. And let's meet again soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.